record this. So as you guys know, we all love Vern. He's super busy, traveling all over the state, doing events and service events and virtual demos. He is a machine, and we're so lucky to have him in our division. And he asked to give a message. We had to coordinate it, and I actually wanted him to give this even in a few weeks. And he's just so busy making moves and having his best year ever, and 110,000-hour spring campaign, and just crushing it. I think it was 8 weeks in a row over 5K. Is next level for Vernon right now, and he is crushing it. And so he's been through a lot of summers as an assistant manager, a branch manager, and a CSP. And so he really wanted to share just a few thoughts on how to crush it this summer and how to take it to the next level. And some of you have no idea what the summer holds for you. And some of you, again, like I was saying, think, what you've experienced the last few weeks in the spring is what's normal in the summer, but summer is next level, and he's going to give it to you. So Vern, B. Williams V, take it away.
Before I get started, I just feel virtually that the energy is like below my screen. So what I need everybody to do is I need you guys to stand up and either go do some jumping jacks or push-ups or whatever you got to do to get the body moving, get some blood flowing. Love it. Why are you guys still sitting down? We're not starting until everyone gets up. Rachel, I'm talking to you too. Yeah.
Get up, Nick. Get up, Nick.
Get up.
What?
The body moving. Yes. Love it. Man, I feel the energy already. That's great. Whew, sweating a little bit. All right. It's good. All right. So you can either stay standing or you can sit down, whatever you want to do. It's good. It's good to see everybody. So I just wanted to talk to everybody about just going big for the summer and what the summer could really mean for all of you. It can be hard to remember your whys on the day-to-day grind. And trust me, from someone that's been doing this for over a decade, and you can ask all your managers. But the difference between just a normal rep, an average rep, and an above average rep is their mindset. Okay, so the difference between a normal rep, an average rep, and a great rep or an above average rep is their mindset. Are you treating this just as a typical part-time job? Are you the college kid that's selling knives part-time? Or are you are you the business owner that's building $1 million business? Whether or not, if you think you're going to be here, 8, 9, 10 years from now, whether or not you ever see yourself being in the Cutco Hall of Fame, if you treated this as if this was your startup, right? This was your Google, your Apple, your Amazon, and you were building this to $1 million business, you probably look at this much differently. It's very real that literally 16 weeks from now, 4 months, all of your lives can be completely changed. It's one of the most cliche things that we say because we say it so often, but it's because we take it for granted because it happens so many times. Okay? It's a cliche thing to say because it happens so many times that we just take it for granted at this point. Because that's how spoiled we are here at Vector Marketing. Okay? I want you to think about what was the initial reason why all of you decided to do this knife thing. Was it money? Was it communication skills? Was it confidence? Your parents telling you to get a job? Maybe since the world shut down last year, this was the only thing that was available. Like, you need to go back to that and think about, okay, well, if everything went perfectly over the next, 15 weeks or so, at the end of August, for me to say that this was a successful summer, the best summer ever, what would have to happen? How much money would be in your bank account? What would be the confidence that you would feel inside? You've heard us say that people have graduated from college debt-free. It's happened. One of my best friends was just over. Okay, this is a guy that graduated from St. Norbert's debt-free, and now he owns like half of the pier. He owns like 80 some units. No kidding. When Nick Snyder and I were working a home show in Oshkosh, we went to Chipotle, or no, Qdoba, just have lunch before the show. In walks Kevin Graciolani, and just randomly in Oshkosh. I'm like, oh, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I just sold a property. I just went to go cash a check. And I was like, Kevin, how much was it for? He's like, 37. Not 3,700, by the way, 37,000. And he's able to do all this because of his, 4 years that he sold Cutco? That he's literally living the life of his dreams because of the hard work he put into Vector selling Cutco. You ask him 100%, like, how did you do this? I guarantee you he will contribute his 4 years of working with Cutco. And he wasn't anything special. He was just like me. He was horrible at the job. He didn't listen. He was just doing his own thing. And then someone told him, hey, dummy, just read the manual. And then boom, he sold $6,000 for his spring break and then won a scholarship that summer. And he continued to sell more and more and more, right? I first hit K-Club because he hit K-Club. He hit K-Club going 10 weeks in a row over $2,000 around school, by the way, $2,000 a week for 10 weeks in a row in the fall around school. I said, Kevin, how did you do that? He said, I made 20 calls every day. All right, so I did that. Then I hit K-Club that next spring around school. Okay? So when we say that your lives can literally be changed for the better, and you can literally like live the life of your dreams, that's exactly what we mean. But it's going to be up to you if that actually happens. So if I told you that, hey, if you shoveled cow manure, you're going to work for me and I'm going to have you shovel cow manure for 60 hours a week, every single week. But at the end of the summer, you're going to have $50,000 in the bank. Raise your hands if you would do that. Yeah. Well, guess what? You don't have to shovel cow manure and you won't work 60 hours a week. And I will guarantee you, if you put in that same amount of work, you're going to have a lot of money in the bank by the end of the summer. Being rich doesn't make you happy, but neither does being poor. So you might as well be rich, right? I'm just saying. So they're like, honestly, the more you have, the more you can give to others, right? Like nothing starts without money. You can't support a charity if you don't have money. You can't start a business if you don't have money. You can't help your family in need if you don't have money. You can't pay off your student loans if you don't have money. Okay? So I want you to think about what's that number that if that number was in your bank account by the end of August, you would like literally cry. And managers, this is for you too. And don't be like $100,000, okay? But like literally think about, oh my gosh, if I could literally have 10 grand in my bank account 16 weeks from now, I would literally probably cry. I want you to think what that number is, and I want you to circle it. And then what I want you to do is I want you to schedule a PC with your manager, literally tonight after the phone jam. Your number one question to him or her is saying, how can I get this in my bank account by the end of summer? What do I need to do? And it's not even about the number. It's about what you can do with that number. It's about what that number means. And by the way, it doesn't matter if it's $3 grand, $5 grand, $20,000. We've had people literally make $20,000 in literally 4 months. We've had people make people's whole salaries in 4 months selling Cutco. That's powerful. Some of you will have the opportunity to either physically or somehow virtually hand a check to your school and say, here's my semester's pay. And you can literally do that every semester. Some of you literally 4 years from now will be able to put a down payment on a house or a duplex. Some of you, when you graduate school, will actually graduate debt-free. Some of you will be able to take your family on a vacation. And the difference between that person that does and the person that doesn't is their mindset. So you realize that we develop these conferences and these team meetings and phone jams to help you, right? It's not for us. Your managers don't need a phone jam. Your managers don't need the conferences. They do that for you. Because I needed it. That was why my first summer was a joke. Because I didn't go to any conferences. That's why Jason literally had to force me to go to my first conference 10 years ago. I gave him all the excuses in the world, the same ones that all of you are going to give. And he forced me to go, and I went, and it changed my career. And now I go to every single conference. Put it in my schedule every single year. So this summer is probably one of the most important campaigns in the Vector calendar, as Jason was talking about, because there's no school, right? For most of you, there's no school. Maybe you have a part-time job, but this is where you can literally go all out. And for you to be successful, there's going to be sacrifices. Some of you have to say no more this summer so you can say yes to your dreams. So you can say yes to your goals. You might have to say no to your friends a little bit more this summer so that you can say yes to your dreams. Some of you might have to say no to your family a little bit more this summer. But that's so that you can say yes to your dreams. So I really want you to think about where you want to be 4 months from now. And what's great about this job is all you have to do is backtrack, and you'll be able to know literally exactly what you need to do tomorrow to get you on pace. And you just do that every single year, every single campaign, every single year, every single week, every single month. You have a goal, you backtrack it. So you know exactly what you need to do tomorrow. Because I guarantee you, if you hit your goals for the summer, no matter what it is, whatever you had to say no to, I guarantee you it's going to be worth it. And I also guarantee if you say yes to a lot of things this summer, which will make you say no to your dreams, at the end of the summer, I can guarantee you it's not going to be worth it. Short-term pleasure over long-term happiness. Okay. Saying no to certain things right now, short term, means that you're saying yes to the long-term happiness. So when you're in a push or you have this schedule that you have set for you that's in line with your goals, you're going to be tested. You're going to have your friends, you're going to have your family, significant others say, hey, do you want to do this Thursday night? You want to do this Saturday afternoon? And sometimes, not all the time, sometimes you're going to have to say no. And it's going to suck in the meantime. It's going to suck at first, but I promise you it'll be worth it. And if they are your true friends, they truly got your back, they're going to understand that and support that. Okay? I had to say no a lot, right? There's seasons in life when you have to work harder and you have to work more and play a little bit less. And now, because of that, I'm at the point where I can say no to work a little bit more so I can say yes to my friends and family. That's why I've been able to see my God kids a lot more. I've been able to see my friends and family a lot more because I've developed a skill set that is literally allowing me to work less and sell more. That $100,000 that I'm at, the first time I did that was 2019, literally starting basically like the first week in January. This year, I didn't start till the second week in February. So I already took 6 weeks off this first year, and I'm at literally exactly where I was in my best year ever. And that's because that I've sacrificed and I've honed in my skill set. I know exactly what I want to do for the business and outside of the business. Like, I know that I want to be a father at this time next year. And I know that I want to have evenings and weekends with them, with my family. So that's why I told my customers, unless it's a service event, I'm done working at 5. And I don't do appointments on the weekends anymore. So here's my schedule for the whole year, make it work. Right? But I can say that almost 11 years later, right? Because I grinded it out and I'm still grinding it out. It just looks a little bit different. So when you can look at your business and kind of visualize, like, where would you want your business to be? Where would you want your business to be 3 years, 5 years from now? Whether or not you're going to be here or not, that's really irrelevant. If you ask yourself, like, where you want to be 3 to 5 years from now, if all the stars aligned, everything worked out great, what would your business look like? Then just backtrack. What would you need to do this summer so that you are on pace for your 1-year goal? Great. Now, what do you need to do this week to stay on pace for that? This summer means a lot more than what you think. I know a lot of this day-to-day, even week-to-week, like meetings, phone calls, phone jams. I know that it can just feel empty. I know that it can feel just repetitive. And it kind of seems meaningless. And I promise you, in the end, it's going to be worth it. Jason and I wouldn't be here literally over a decade if it wasn't worth it. Because I still make phone calls. He still makes phone calls. We still go to conferences. We still have meetings, right? We also invest a lot of money in our businesses, and so do the other managers. Like, we're running legit businesses right now because of the day-to-day, week-to-week grind. So I just honestly wanted to come on here, and I really wanted you to think about what this summer could mean for you. And if you worked hard, you gave it all you got, and at the end of August, you could look at yourself and say that you gave it your best, would it be worth it? And I promise you the answer is going to be yes. So think about what your goals are, and not just Cutco, but think about everything else. Okay, it's about harmony. It's not about balance. It's about harmony. Just because you're working more doesn't mean you have to completely sacrifice your physical and mental health. Right? We're also not saying that you're going to tell your friends and family you're never going to see me this whole summer. No, that's not what I'm saying. But how can you earn a weekend or like a week to do whatever the heck you want? What if you told yourself, hey, if I sell $10,000 this month, I'm gonna take a week off this next month. Or when I get X amount in my bank account, then I can take these few days off. Or I'm going to go here or do this or buy this thing. You want to hang out with your friends and family? Earn it. Make yourself earn it. Nothing is given to you. You have to earn it. So really think about and dive in and do an exercise tonight about what you want to do, what you want the summer to mean for you, where you see your business, how much money you want to make and save this summer, and meet up with your managers and come up with a plan to make that happen. And I promise you, those little sacrifices will be worth it when you experience success. And I'm also going to break it to you. Some of you will plan out these goals, have a roadmap, and some of you won't even hit your goals. And that's also okay. Because actually, the point of the goal is not to even hit the goal. The point of the goal is to become a better version of who you are today. It took me years before I won the Rolex, right? Every year I wanted to win the Rolex. But I still became a better version of myself every single time that I failed. And it finally gave me the tools that I truly needed to actually hit my goals. And for those of you that do hit your goals, awesome. Set and hit the next one. So that's all I wanted to say. You know, if there's Q&A, great. If not, you guys got to hit the phones. And literally the phones, like that's literally the catalyst to your goals and dreams, like literally tonight. It's the worst part, but it's the best part of the business. It's the thing that will keep you broke or things that'll help you build wealth. That's what I got.
Wow. All right. Thank you, Vern. Vern, I have a question for you.
Sure.
So you've had some campaigns where you sold like almost nothing. You had some campaigns where you've been really busy. Like you were an assistant manager, the president of a fraternity, the campus manager. You were involved in all kinds of stuff on campus, and you had your best campaign ever. So I'm guessing like just what's the difference? Because I feel like there's some people who are listening to this who might be just not, they may have excuses or may not know how to make that switch. And they hear you and they're like, I want to do that. I guess, what do you feel is a switch for you from like your best semester or campaign versus like a couple of the ones that you were struggling in?
It was my why. I remember that in my apartment room, I had like a picture of all the promotions and awards that we could get. And I had the thing that I wanted circled. So every day in my room, I was looking at it. And I knew that as long as I made like my 15 or 20 calls a day, that I was going to hit that goal. And that's exactly what happened. When I wanted my Rolex, right? The background of my phone was the Rolex. When I wanted to sell 30K for the SE2 plush, I had, like $30,000, that I looked at every single day. So it was just knowing exactly what I wanted and why I wanted it, and then surrounding myself with people that would support me in that goal. Because at some point, just getting these, average results, I just had to ask myself, look, I'm either going to get better and make more money and achieve these goals, or I'm going to work somewhere else where I'm not going to get paid what I'm worth. I'm going to hate what I do. So I might as well get this thing down.
Mm-hmm. Nice. All right. Who has a question for Vern?
Don't be shy.
Before we hop on the phones
I have a question. So Vernon, what is your tip to keep your schedule on track? Like, what did you do to make sure you're not like falling behind, or like, oh, maybe I can just push this to a different day, sort of thing?
Yeah, great question. So if you are working a normal job and they gave you a schedule, if you tried to move it or deviate from it, what would happen? Probably get like fired, right? So if you do that, we're not going to fire you, but you are going to fire yourself. So when I talked about treating this as a business, when you have something in your schedule, that's it. Right? So there's no moving it. Okay. So I would literally meet with Jason and tell him, like, this is what I wanted. He would break it down and say, all right, this is what you got to do. And then I would do my best to do it. And was I perfect at it? No, but then I'll get right back on track. So it's just all a mental game. It's discipline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if I can pile on that, so, for all of you, it's just a matter of what's important to you. Like, if health is important to you, you find a way to work out, right? If faith is important to you, you find a way to do your devotionals and make it a church, right? If your GPA is important to you, you find a way to go to class and you find a way to do your homework. And so if your income and you graduated at for your job is important, you'll find a way. And hopefully this is an inspiration and not like a condemnation at all that anyone feels, but it's just a choice, And so I promise you, Vern and I know each other very well. We are no different than any of you. No different. We're just a little bit longer in the game, and we've overcome a lot of adversity and a lot of fear. And so, You may be 1 week away of, feeling like you're going to quit, or 1 week away from greatness. And it really is just a matter of how important is it to you? Because you'll find a way, right? We all have the same amount of hours in the day. So just a matter of finding a way. And that's why we're having this conversation now, because summer, like some of you are done with classes the next week or two, and you're gonna make a decision. Some of you are making a decision now. Can I do this in the summer or not? Well, it's up to you. There's people who make 10, 20, 30 grand in the summer. There's some people who quit and don't do a vector summer. So it's all the same program. It's really up to you. And so we really believe in you, and you wouldn't be on the team. You wouldn't be here if you didn't want to succeed. So, give that some thought, because yeah, it's you have what it takes. Are there gonna be some bumps? Yeah. There's gonna be some struggles. Yeah. There's gonna be some distractions. Oh yeah. But that's up to you to overcome that, and talk to your captain, and talk to your division manager, talk to the CSPs. Like, we are all in on your success, because we all together want Vector Northwoods to succeed. And that's not us. That's like a collective of the whole team. So you matter. Maybe you didn't have sales the last couple of weeks. Hey, you matter. Let's get on the horn. Let's get some sales this week. Maybe you missed K Club. Maybe you just missed President's Club. Well, great. It's a new campaign. Let's go. So
if you want momentum, just make 100 phone calls. You're going to get momentum right back.
boom.
Every time I was in a rut, I would just literally make 100 phone calls, schedule 10, 12 appointments, and then I was right back on track. So when you find out where your goal is, talk to your manager, and then ask them, hey, who else has a goal similar to this for the summer? And then connect with them. Create your own mini mastermind. Like, hey, I want to sell 10 grand for the summer. Find the other reps in the division that want to sell 10 grand for the summer. I want to sell 30 grand for the summer. I want to win a scholarship, right? There should be like a scholarship mastermind for those who are actually serious about winning a scholarship this summer. And then all be talk once a week and hold yourselves accountable.
Nice.